Hello everyone, my name is Elizabeth Sampson Lee. I'm author of the book Bound and Gagged by the Thin Blue Line, Sexual Assault, Harassment, and the Broken System Sworn to Protect and Serve. The book is set to be released in April of 2021 to coincide with Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And now I will read you a chapter from my book. Wednesday, December 5th, 2012. Paying Respects. Countywide, the offices held only bare-bones staff, and those on duty were quiet, somber, solemn. 6 days earlier, an officer from a small 4,000-person town, 75 miles southwest of Pine City, as the crow flies, had been shot and killed in a parking lot behind a downtown bar while conducting a welfare check. A large contingent from the Pine County Sheriff's Office joined hundreds of law enforcement officers from around the United States and Canada to pay respects. On such a day, law enforcement became one. Except Eric, who had no desire to show up. It was a worthless Wednesday. From Sheriff Cole on down to the deputies, staff shined their boots, clipped on their ties, and donned department-issued cowboy-style hats and leather jackets they wore for such occasions. A few of their shell-shocked wives attended too, with the hope of supporting their husbands and never being the one who would be handed that triangularly folded American flag. Caravanning in newly washed department vehicles, they all undertook the 130-mile drive southwest on Interstate 35. The nonstop trek took much longer than usual due to the length of the procession. Law enforcement vehicles stretched for miles, headlights on and squad lights flashing, through Cold Spring and beyond. Pine County Sheriff's Office was no stranger to such tragedy. In August 1991, Deputy Michael Morrow, an 11-year veteran of the department, was beaten to death with his own flashlight while conducting a traffic stop. For those of us back in the office, the day was melancholy, though uneventful. I couldn't stop thinking about how my co-workers must have felt. I couldn't stop thinking about how I myself felt. I knew I could not handle if any of them suddenly met this fate. As concern for my coworkers flooded through my mind, it occurred to me, why am I not thinking about Eric? Fallen officer traditions were completely lost on him. He used them as an excuse to be a shitty husband. For instance, he'd likely twist this tragedy into proof, supporting his claim that I could get him killed if I contacted him while he was on duty. Calling and texting him during the day had been fine, even encouraged during our courtship, but frowned upon once married. It was just his bullshit. I texted Eric's partner Jen whenever I felt like it, and she had no qualms about responding. She never shut me out during her shifts, even when she was busy. The next morning, after my in-custodies were done, I watched news clips, read articles, and clicked through photo galleries from the gut-wrenching day. A few showed Pine County vehicles in the procession line that extended beyond either side of the frame. There was one that captured Sheriff Cole walking with Chief Blackwell and a few deputies in their stead. Then I advanced to a photo that struck me the most. A stunning and raw snapshot of Meyer and his wife as they stood in the receiving line with pocketed hands and forward-looking hollow eyes. In front of an American flag blowing in the wind, their expressions reflected all that was broken in their bodies underneath their winter coats. When the guy showed up in the office, we had to talk about it. We spoke about the dangers, the fears, and the loss. Nothing could rattle law enforcement more than the killing of one of its own. People tend to forget about the human beings under the uniform. Cops don't. They see themselves in those tragedies. From that point forward, Benny and I nagged Barry to wear his protective vest over his button-up shirt and tie when he went out into the field. Barry was a husband and a father of 2 little red-headed boys with a girl on the way. Benny and I told him that we didn't want to witness the miles-long funeral procession for him, with lights flashing and sirens silent on squad cars, with department logos from every department in Minnesota and across the United States and Canada. We didn't want to see thousands of officers salute as his flag-draped casket got pulled by a horse-drawn carriage to his final resting place. We didn't want to see bystanders lining the roadway, holding signs that read, "Our hero," for him. We didn't want to hear taps, bagpipes, or the 21-gun salute for him. We didn't want to hear the bells ring 272 times, one for each Minnesota officer killed in the line of duty, then hear number 273 for him. We didn't want to hear the final radio call from the dispatcher, calling his badge number, officer his name, is out of service, end of watch, date of his death. We didn't want to hear his badge number is 10-7. We didn't want to hear a bell ring 1 time for each year of his career as an officer. We didn't want to witness any of this in Barry's honor, like the other fallen officers' loved ones had. We just wanted him to wear his goddamn vest, and we told him so.